differences efficiency versus scarcity. Okay. We already discussed scarcity related to the unlimited human bonds. Don't have enough resources to satisfy the unlimited human wants. The situation we call as scarcity. Okay. In here, efficiency is another concept. I will discuss this concept related to the one organization. Okay. One organization. Okay. If ABC company or firm can produce 200 commodities by using their own inputs, I mean production resources, this is the maximum level. If they can reach that amount of production in one day or today, so we can call today production is in efficiency level or optimum level. Okay. If this particular organization produce 150 commodity, but they able to produce 200 commodity, so we can call it inefficiency situation. Okay, this is called inefficiency situation. Okay, how organization can utilize the each and every resources for the production process to optimize the production quantity or number of production in an organization. So they need to reduce the wastage. They need to minimize the wastage. Okay. How they can minimize the wastage? Okay. If you are going to take the maximum utilization of the workers who are working in a particular organization, we can call you are taking optimum utilization from the workers. Okay. If in a working time period, normally we call it 8 hours, 3 hours, workers are not working. So then we can call that 3-hour time period, which must be belong to the waste. That means you're wasting the time, valuable time period of the workers to the production process, which can be optimized the production quantity. You're not going to utilize the 3 hours. So that kind of situation we call as wastage. Okay. If you can minimize the wastage in the organization, you can maximize the output. That is the secret behind efficiency of the any kind of organization. On the other hand, if you can use latest technology, different type of management techniques or methodology for the production purposes or in the organization, so then what happen? Your production will be maximized. That is why I say that tools and equipments must be used in the production process. So then you can increase the production process without any hesitations. Right? If you are in a efficiency manner, if you are organization in efficiency manner, what will happen? You can achieve the ultimate goal of the organization. Right? We know that each and every organization has to face scarcity, whether that organization belong to the developed country or underdeveloped country or least developed country, any kind of things, any kind of country, any kind of classes. No need to worry about that one. They have to face the scarcity. Yes, we agree with that one. But the impact of the scarcity can be reduced because of the efficiency of the organization. So you can identify some companies, some firms facing minus profitabilities. That means their earnings are not enough to cover the entire cost of the organization. We call as minus profit or losses. Okay. Sometimes you can identify some companies getting plus profitabilities, profit, plus profit, positive profit. Why? Their earning is enough to cover the entire production cost and another share will be there. So then it become profit. Why? Because they are using their resources in an optimum level. Technology, management, marketing, decision making, risk management, which and everything in a better position, in a high level in the organization. That is how they can achieve the ultimate goal of the organization. If they are not going to do that one, they cannot achieve the maximum output, optimum output. So that's the theory you have to identify. So now you can identify there's a big difference between scarcity and efficiency in an organization or any kind of country. Scarcity is a permanent situation. Okay, it's a permanent. Yes, we know that because of this scarcity, we have to conduct our organization, conduct our production process, conduct our firms in an efficiency manner. If there is no any scarcity in the organization or country, we don't need to worry about the efficiency of the organization. That is what we have to understand, the combination between scarcity and efficiency. If there is no any scarcity in the organization or in the country, no need to worry about the efficiency. That is what happened instead. Okay. Because of scarcity, you have to create the organization activities in an efficiency manner. That is what we are going to do. Right? That is why it say that scarcity lead to the needs for efficiency. In here, I will point out that this one, scarcity. Okay, scarcity leads to the needs of efficiency. This one. That means if there is no any scarcity in the organization, what will happen? No need to worry about the efficiency. We already discussed that, right? So then you got the idea, the combination between scarcity and efficiency and other things. Okay. Now we can move to the next subtopic. It's a very important topic related to the economics, subject of economics. Still, we are going to discuss basic concept. It's a basic concept. Okay. So then, if you are good good understandability related to the basic concept of economics, it is very easy to continue your studying related to the subject of economics. That is why we are going to study basic concept first of all, before identify the different type of calculations and activities and other things in the subject of economics. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about human wants. Right. What do you mean by the human wants? It is combined with the needs. Yes, we know that. It's combined with the needs. Okay. Anyhow, normally we are going to discuss first of all human needs. Then we are going to discuss about human wants. Because after this identification, you can easily identify the components related to the human wants. That is why we are going to discuss this one. So then I will move to your next page, I mean 14. After discussing the human needs, we can move to the human wants. Okay? Did you get the idea? think you are okay with that one, right? Okay. Let's move to discuss the human needs. Okay, human needs. So human needs mean if you are going to live in a society, there must be essential activities, essential requirements. There must be essential requirement. Okay, essential requirement. Essential requirement. To be a part of the society, to be the part of the society. It is essential to consume. So we call it basic needs or human needs. What are they? Human needs are the essential requirement, must satisfy, must consume as a person in the society. If you are unable to do that one, what happened? You cannot be identified as a person in a society. So just consider about the indigenous peoples in some countries. Still they are not in a society. Their basic activities, social movements, which and everything in a low level compared with the developed society. So then they are not going to worry about the basic needs. But as a person in a society, you have to consider about that one. We call it basic needs. On the other hand, basic needs are common for each and everyone. Why? If you are a person, if you are a man, if you are a human, it is common for each and everyone. Without those things, I mean essential things, you cannot live as a person in the society. That is why we call it essential requirements. Okay. Then write down in here. Are you okay with that one? I think you download the tutorial, edited tutorial after the first one. I think you downloaded. Okay. Are you okay with this one? So can you hear me? Okay, right. Then write down in here. Okay, in the blank area in here. Okay. Human needs are, yeah, thank you. Human needs are essential requirements. Human needs are essential requirements. Human needs are essential requirements. That must be met. That must be met. That must be met for a person to survive. For a person to survive. For a person to survive. And live in healthy. And live in healthily. Comma, stable life. Healthy and comma, stable life. Needs are limited and universal. Needs are limited and universal. Needs are limited and universal. Limited and universal. All humans have the same basic, all humans have the same basic needs. The same basic needs. So what is the meaning of limited and universal? Limited means, so you can count out what are the basic needs. Foods, clothing, shelter, medicine, transport. There's a limit for that one. That is enough to survive in the society. So that is what we call as limited. It is unlikely human wants, because human wants are unlimited, but human needs are limited. And universal. Universal means it is common. It is common for each and everyone who are living in the planet, whether they are going to live in a developed country or underdeveloped country or least developed country or any kind of places. Any places. Okay. Whether you are going to live in moon or any kind of places, okay, in a planet. So it is universal idea. It is common, whether they are going to speak English, Sinhala, Tamil, any kind of languages. No need to worry about that one. It is common for each and everyone. That is why we say that it is universal. The person who born in United Kingdom, they also need that one. It is common. The person who born in Central Republic of Africa, they also need that one. It is similar. That is why we call it is universal things. You cannot argue with that one. It is common for each and every person who are living in the planet. That is why we call it this is universal. So we can identify two types of human needs in here. Two types of human needs. What are they? First one is material needs. We call it tangible needs. Okay, because we can touch it, we can see it. We call it physical needs. Other things are intangible needs. Okay, intangible. We call it emotional and mental needs. We call it psychological needs. We will discuss about that one. Okay, first one is material needs. We call it physical needs. They are tangible. Tangible means you can touch it. Physical appearances. They are the tangible and basic necessities. Basic necessities required to sustain human life. Required to sustain human life. We call it material needs or physical needs. As example, food and waters. I mean, beverage. Food and beverage. Nutritions, hydrations, each and everything will be done because of this food and water. If there is no food and water, what will happen? Unable to live. Clothing. In a society, if you are going to live in a society, you need that one. Protect your human body from the society and the weather conditions or environmental conditions. You need to do that one. And shelter for the safety and the purpose of rest. Okay. Medicine, maintain the better type of health situation. You need that one. Okay, whether you are going to live in any kind of places in the planet, it is very common for each and everyone. No one can say that we don't need that kind of things, or clothing, or shelter, or medicine. It is essential requirements. So we call it tangible things. Okay. There are biological and psychological things. And without them, human survivors is not possible. Yes. Without those examples, can you live in a free manner? You can't live. Just few minutes will be done. That's the theory. Okay. So then let's move to the psychological needs. There are tangibles, intangibles, sorry, There are intangible needs. We call it mental needs that related to the emotional well-being, self-esteem, relationships, and personal growth. Those are mental. Those are mental needs. Without those things, you can live. But without those things, living in a society will be very hard. That is what it become. That is why it become needs. As an example, love and affection. Okay, emotional connection with the family or friends or any kind of things. You are expecting something. Okay, if you are going to not care about anyone, what will happen? You cannot live in a society. You must be a part of the society. You must be a member of the team. You must be a member of the family. Without those things, you cannot live because it is human needs. Because it is super regular. Okay, super essential. Next one, recognition now, respect from the family and the society. You are expecting something like that. Security, feeling safe and protected. You are expecting security. Physical security and mental security also must be there. You are expecting this. Education for mental development and empowerment. If there is no education, what will happen to the development of the workers or development of the people? It can be reduced. What will happen without education for the empowerment, power of the peoples? It also can be reduced. So we call it, those are mental requirements. Those are become important after material needs are met and are essential for fulfilling and mentally health life. First of all, you have to identify people are expecting material needs. If they can satisfy the material needs, then they are expecting mental needs. That's how it happened as an order in the society. Right. Let's discuss about human wants. Now already we discussed about the human needs. Now it is time to understand human wants. Right. Now it is time to understand human. Okay. Right. What are the human wants? It is endless. We call it endless or unlimited. Yes, people are seeking to get the different types of things. Wants are the different type of alternative. Wants are the different type of alternative, which people can satisfy the basic needs. Human wants are alternatives, which can satisfy the basic needs. Okay, as example, just consider about foods. These basic needs. So then food mean you are in a hunger. To satisfy that one, you got different type of alternatives. Okay? First one is rice, to fried rice, string hoppers, anything. There must be different type of alternatives. Okay. Then use the alternative. So when you are going to select the one alternative, other alternatives has to sacrifice for that purposes. Right. When you are going to select one alternative, you have to sacrifice other alternatives. Okay. In here, best alternative, best foregone value, and we identify as opportunity cost. That's the meaning of opportunity cost. Right. In here, write down as human wants. Human wants refer to the human wants refer to the endless, endless, endless desire, endless desire, and need that people seek to satisfy, seek to satisfy in order to improve their life living standard. In order to improve their living standard. Right. In here, in the same graph, paragraph, try to write down in here also. Resources are limited. But human wants are unlimited. But human wants are unlimited. That's how scarcity arises. That's how scarcity arises. Can you give me few minutes? Okay. Now we can discuss the key characteristic related to the human wants. We already identified that human wants are unlimited. There's no any kind of limitation for the human wants. Okay? That means those are going to never end. If I ask, what are you expecting? Or what are the wants? What are the expectation of your mind? You can say anything. There's no limitations. Why? Because one thing you are going to fulfill, but after fulfilling another one kind of human wants, this is the point where another human wants arise. That's the theory. Okay, as an example, just consider you are going to buy a car. Okay, then what happened? Next, after bought it that one, your mind will be saying, so I need modifications. So I want modifications. So next one arise. Next, any other parts of the vehicles must be changed. Many things will be arise. Another things. So I need parking space in my home to park that vehicle. So different type of things will be arise because of satisfying one needs. That's the theory. So that is why we call it is unlimited. Okay, as example, after buying a basic mobile phone, a person may soon desire a smartphone with advanced features. After getting that one, what will happen? We will think about the farm topo, uh, any other devices. After that one, another things. That is how it developed as a line. That is why we call it this is unlimited. It's unlimited, truly unlimited. That is inherent. What we call as wants are arise naturally in humans as a part of the life and growth. When you're in a childhood, you need toys. After growing that one, you want books, clothes. Later, it will be car. Later, many things. So then now you can identify wants are developing with the time period, with the age limitations, with the age time period also. So it is not a things in the same position, same type, because it is also natural. It's also variable factor. It is not fixed. Okay. On the other hand, complementary. Complementary means it is combined with other things. Okay. Some wants are likely linked with other things. Okay. Some wants are linked and must be satisfied together. Okay. As an example, if you are going to take desktop, what will happen? UPS also. External battery also must be there for avoid from the sudden power changes. So if you are going to purchase that one, you have to purchase this also. Without this equipment, you cannot use this desktop indirectly from the main power supply. So now you can identify it is complementary. Complementary means it is combined together. It is combined together. That is what we call as complementary. As an example, just consider about your smartphone. It's combined with the SIM card. Without SIM card, you cannot take the maximum utilization of real utilization of the smartphone, isn't it? Yes. Actually, you cannot do it. Okay, you can say that I can take the Wi-Fi network or other things, but actual usage of the mobile phone, smartphone cannot be taken as without SIM card. So it combined together. That is why we call it complementary. So now you can identify special three features: unlimited, inherent, complementary, and competitive. Why? People must choose between wants due to limited resources. As an example, you got only 70,000 in your hand. Okay. You are going to buy smartphone and smart mobile and laptop. Okay. The price of the laptop is just assume. Okay. I'm not going to say real prices. Okay, I will describe in assume prices because it is very easy to understand. That is why I'm going to do that one. Okay. 60,000 and a smartphone consider as 65,000. Okay. Now what will happen? You have to choose between those two alternatives, whether you are going to buy laptop or a smartphone. How you can decide it? You have to compare the usages, advantages and disadvantages of this particular two commodities. Then you can take the proper decisions. what you are going to purchase, what kind of commodities you are going to purchase. That is according to the views, according to the choice of the consumer. It can be changed. Definitely, we know that people must choose between votes. Why? Because we got only limited resources. That is why we have to choose it. Okay, as example, just read down. A student may have to choose between buying textbooks or paying for extra classes. Yes, because limited money are there, limited resources are there. Okay, then next one. You can identify wants as a material or non-material method. Wants may be for physical goods or intangible goods. As an example, materials, just consider about laptop or farm top or something like that. What are the non-material things? Okay, be a part of the society. Okay. Respect from other peoples. It is non-material. You cannot touch it. It is intangible. Okay. Vary with place and person. Yeah, it can be changed one person to another person. It can be changed one location to another location. As an example, just consider the people who follow the Islamic tradition, especially women who follows the especially Islamic tradition, their dressing code and dressing uh, model. It can be a difference from the very different from the single tradition. That's the thing. So just consider about the people who are living in this highland area. I mean, Nuwar area or something like that area, Badulu, Bandar. So their living standard and their culture and other things can be changed. Okay, and the weather condition, environmental conditions is different from the Jaffna area. So if you are going to consider about those two areas, two places, according to the environmental conditions, the human needs can be changed one person to another person and one place to another place. And also, uh, according to the age also can be changed. And according to the income level of the people who are getting incomes from any kind of business activities or any kind of labor activities. So income can be changed one person to another person. According to the income, what happened? Their wants also can be changed. Right? On the other hand, there are different type of alternatives to satisfy the wants. As example, just consider about wants, food. This is basic needs. That means you are in hunger. So it becomes wants. So now you can choose whether you are going to consume roti, whether you are going to consume paratha or breads, rice and curry, right? Different type of things. Many alternatives are there, but choices in your consumer's hand. Choices can be different one person to another person. That's the deal. Okay. So influenced by advertisement. So it is one of the major tactics used by the marketing firms. Okay. If you are going to see, if you are going to watch TV for 1 hour or 2 hours, what will happen? You are seeing many kind of commercial advertising in the screen of TV. So then what happens? Your attention goes to that advertisement. So then some companies, some organization try to get the maximum attention by showing their advertisement uh, again and again in a certain time period. again and again, same advertisement. So what happened? Attention must be there, right? Attention must be there. So then what happened? Their choice can be changed and their choice can be improved, and so then advertisements, right? Influences by advertisement, votes influenced by advertisement. Yes, it can be changed. Okay, after seeing a TV ad, person may want to list fashion brand clothing. So it happened. Right. Next one, influenced by the modernization. What happened? New innovations, new technological innovations, hmm, change the living standard or lifestyle of the people. As an example, just consider about mobile phones. If we are going to consider about people who live in 19080, during that time period, there wasn't any kind of mobile phones. So then what happened? But if we are going to discuss about today, I mean 2025, so it become essential thing. Hmm? Without digital communication, you cannot live in the society. Hmm? I don't have any idea what will happen in the future. Hmm? Different type of services must be there. Hmm? Different type of devices will be there. We don't have any idea about the innovations created by the. So just consider about the vehicle. Hmm? We already identified uh, vehicle created by the engines. Hmm? But now just consider about the Chinese production, BYD. They are producing vehicles, right, only by using electronic charging methodology. But it can be changed. We don't have any idea how they can do that now. We can say only one thing, definitely. What is? One can be modifications by using influences by the innovation and technology and the digital lifestyle. Okay, definitely it must be smarter, smarter than in the present time period. You know that present time period also smarter than the previous. So then future time period also will be different from previous or present time period. So now we can identify that. Right? It's very easy to identify. Right. Next one is based on habit. Okay. According to your habits, your wants can be changed. Okay. It is daily routines. Okay. Drinking tea in every morning become habit. Okay. So then it become habitual wants. It's become habitual wants. Right. If anyone drinking coffee in every morning as a usual activity, so it also become habitual wants. So according to the activities and choices, habitual based wants also can be arise in the society. So it affect to the entire activities. It can be happen. Yes, we know that it can be happen. Right? It is very hard to identify how it happened. But definitely we know that it can be changed the entire organizational activities. entire human activities. Yes, it can be changed, right? Okay, next, related to present and future. Yes, we know that all the human wants are related to the future activities and future expectation of the people. Future expectation of the people. On the other hand, some wants are immediate things. Is based on the present time period or present imaging time period. Others are planned. So those things will be happen in the future time period. Okay, as an example, present wants lunch or dinner. Hmm? What will happen in the future time period? Yeah, we are going to plan that one. Saving money to buy a car or for the behavior, product, educational purposes or something like that one. As an example, you are planning to migrate to get the degree or any kind of learning activity in the future time period. So they not happen. Yeah, it can be uh, happen in the future. Definitely, we can say something like that one. Okay, exactly we cannot say, but they can do it. It will happen. That is what we call as related to the present and future time period. Right. Okay. Now in here we already discussed about human needs. Okay. And again, human wants also. Right. Okay. Right. Now we are going to discuss about goods and services. Okay. Goods and services. Why we need goods and services? To satisfy the basic needs and wants, you have to consume goods and services. That is why we are going to produce goods and services also. Okay. To satisfy the basic needs and wants, we need to create or we need to consume goods and services. Okay. That is why it is very important. Okay. Anyhow, goods means physical things or tangible items that can be seen, touched, stored, and used to satisfy human wants and needs. Yes, that's the meaning of goods. It is tangible things. As an example, a bicycle will satisfy the transportation needs and wants. Next one, a laptop. Okay, different types of educational purposes, entertainment purposes, production purposes, academic and non-academic purposes. There must be some different type of human needs and wants can be satisfied by using laptop. You pack milk. Okay, it can be used. Yes, it can be consumed to satisfy the basic hunger necessities. So those are the things. Those are tangible. We can have, as example, bicycle, laptop, or milk, or anything can be seen, touch, or store. But you can use it for the satisfy the basic human needs. Okay. Anyhow, it can be happen. So we can divide different type of uh, goods, type of goods. First one is consumer good. Consumer goods mean used by the consumers. Purpose is Purpose is consumption purposes. Purpose is consumption purposes. Okay. As example, clothes, goods, smartphone. Sometimes you can use the smartphone in other purposes also. Okay. Don't worry about that one. One commodity can be used to several purposes. Okay. Right. Next one, capital goods. Capital goods used to produce other goods. Purpose is production purposes. Purpose is production purpose. As example, machineries and tools used to produce other commodities, other goods. Right? We call it capital goods. And durable goods. Durable goods means you can use that commodities in a long time period. As example, vehicle, furniture, more than 1 years. But you cannot use other commodities, something like that, breads or bun, cheese or something like that. Normal one. You cannot use more than 1 year. It is just less than 1 year. So we cannot recognize those as durable goods. But vehicle and other equipments, machineries, we can identify as durable goods. Right. And non-durable goods, okay, used up very quickly. Breads, fuel, even you can't see after usage. We call it non-durable goods. Okay. Services also there, but services are intangible. You cannot touch it, you can't see it, you can't store it, and you can use it, but you can use it. You can usually use all those things to satisfy the basic needs and wants. Okay. Services are intangible activities or benefits provided by one party to another party. What are the parties? One party is consumer, second party is supplier. As an example, just consider about the services provided by the bank, financial services. Okay, one party consider as bank, other party is customer of the bank. That is why we call it two types of parties are there. Right? Yes. Services also use exchange for money for the purpose of providing for the purpose of finding profitability. Okay. So what are the characteristics related to the services? First one is cannot be touched. Straw. Why? Because it is intangible. There is no physical appearances in the services. That is why it cannot be touched. Provided and consumed at the same time. Yes. But you can identify the production time period of the commodity, I mean physical things, is in a previous situation, but the consumption time period is different. As an example, just consider this touchpad pen created in 2022. Okay, but still we are going to use it. The time period is different. But just consider services provided in the same time, consumed in the same time. That is how it happened. Okay. Realize on skills, time or expertise. Just as an example, just consider you got a pain in here. Okay. Something like that area. You got some pain. So you decide you need medicines. From what kind of doctors? You're expecting a specialized ENT doctor. Specialization. So then when you are going to take the services, you are expecting skills, time, and expertise. Without expertise, you are not going to take the services. Okay. If you have any kind of pain in the legs, You are not going to take the medicine from the ENT doctor because it's not related to that one. Okay. As example. Okay. So then we discuss about the example education from teachers. I mean, not only from the full education, but the subject knowledge. Subject knowledge. I think education is a more wider concept than subject. Okay, one teacher cannot do that one. Okay, education can be given as a combination of few teachers. Okay, or some teachers, right? Right. Next one, haircut from the barber. Yes, it also happened, right? So it also contained with the skills, isn't it? Yes. Haircut supply, haircut services supply in the same time. Haircut service consume in the same time also. Same time. There's no time gap. There's no time gap between the supply time and consumption time period. The similar time period is there. Okay, right. Legal advice from the lawyer. That is similar. You can't say that. Okay, it's different from one to another. Right. When you are going to meet the lawyer, the service or production of the services providing time period and consume time period. It is same. Okay. The satisfaction can be changed. Yes. The satisfaction of the advice of the lawyer, the satisfaction from the given by the barber as a haircut, the satisfaction taken by the education from the teachers also can be changed. Okay, one can be changed. The satisfaction can be changed, but we all together we are expecting as uh, services. Okay, the interface can be changed, but already everything can be identified as services, right? On the other hand, we have to consider about the bad goods also. So what do you mean by bad goods? Bad good mean economical bads. Okay, in a normal situation in the day-to-day languages, we are not going to discuss about the bad goods, but in the language of economics, we are going to discuss about bad goods. All right, bad. So bad goods are the item that reduce human welfare. That reduce the human welfare. Yes, I mean that destroy the human welfare or bring disturbance, disutility. I mean, reduce the utility. Utility means satisfaction. Okay. If you are in a thirsty, after drinking cup of water, what will happen? You can get the utilization. Or utility. Okay. It means satisfaction. Okay. Before you consume the cup of water, you were in a thirsty level. But after drinking that cup of water, if your thirsty level reduce, what will happen? Yes, you satisfy. That's how you can identify this. Okay. You satisfy. Disutility means the opposite side. Opposite side of the utility. Negative situation of the utility. This utility. Right. People are willing to pay to get rid of them. I mean, how people try to pay? People try to pay to purchase or get them into the home. But sometimes people try to get rid of that. To avoid from this bad goods, they have to pay. As example, just consider about garbage collected in home. So you have to pay for that one to destroy the garbage. Council, municipal council, or any kind of council will provide services for the that one, and you can identify all other things can be happen after payment. Yes, it's payment, right? Okay. So what are the examples for the bad goods? Garbage. Okay. Pollution. Okay. And any other? Noise from the tapping. Toxic waste. Each and everything can be identified as bad goods. Okay. People try to avoid that bad goods from giving some money. Okay. They have to pay to get the avoid from this bad goods. That's the thing. Okay. Yes, that is how it happened. Okay, already identify the meaning of bads. In economic, bads are the opposite of goods. Yes. Normally also we consider about same things. Okay, the opposite side of the goods is bad. While goods provide utility, bads create discomfort or disability or something like that. Losses or cost. Keeping garbage in home, what will happen? It creates disability. Discomfort, isn't it? Yes. Or it creates bad situation for the living, isn't it? Yes. That is why we call it losses. And it creates cost for the living standard. Yes, we agree with that one. That is what we are not expecting from this situation. We are not expecting same things. Right? Okay. Right. It's 1 minute. Okay. Now we have to discuss about economic good and non-economic good. Economic good and non-economic goods. We already discussed the meaning of goods and services. Now we have to consider about the economic goods and non-economic goods. Okay, the write down here related to the economic goods. Right in here. Economic goods are goods. Economic goods are goods that are scarce, that are scarce, and have an opportunity cost. Opportunity cost. And have an opportunity cost. That mean economic goods are limited in supply. Limited in supply. Economic goods are limited in supply. People are willing to pay. People are willing to pay. Because it contain with value. Because it contain with value. If there is no any kind of value in the economic goods, what will happen? People don't try to pay it. People doesn't like to pay it. That's what happens. Okay, right. So what are the main features? First one is scarce and limited. Scarce, I mean, it is, I know that this supply is limited. Supply is very limited. Yes. Compared to the unlimited human wants, the supply of the economic goods are limited, very limited. Yes. So then, haven't price. Why? Because by using this economic goods, people can satisfy the human wants and needs. People can satisfy the human. That is why it contains with the prices. Okay. If there is no any kind of usage, you cannot pay it. You cannot validate it. Okay. It always involve opportunity cost. I mean, as example, just consider ABC organization produce bakery production. Okay. They only produce buns and cake. Okay. To produce one kind of bun, they need 100 grams of flour. To produce one cake, they need 1,000 grams of flour. I mean 1 kilo. Okay, right. And this ABC company got only 20 kilograms of flour. So then what happened? If they are going to produce cake, they can produce 20 cakes. Okay, just assume that in this position they are going to produce only cake. Okay, only cake. So then what happens? On the other hand, if they are going to produce bun, what will happen? They can produce 200 buns. Yes, that's the equation. So now the producer or entrepreneur of this particular ABC company has to take the decisions how they are going to produce. Okay. As an example, just consider 10 kilograms for the purpose of cake production. And they can produce 10 cake. And another 10 kilograms required for the production of bun. Whatever, 100 buns must be there. Okay. So that means if you are going to increase the production of one cake, I mean to 11, what happened to the production of bun? They have to sacrifice 10 bun production. So it become 90. Sacrificing. Sacrificing value can be identified as opportunity cost. A sacrificing value can be identified as opportunity cost. That's opportunity cost. You can identify that as opportunity cost. Right? Okay. So then, producer. You see, economic resources. How it happens. Another characteristic. Each and every economic resources are not produced by the nature. Economic commodities or goods not produced by the nature. It produced by the human. So now you can identify human efforts. Effort is there. Human effort is there. Because valuable human is there. So now land, labor, any kind of financial capital, each and everything used to produce economic goods. So then it must be contained with value. That is how people have to pay money for that. Okay, example, foods, clothing, vehicles, electricity, healthcare services, each and everything contained with prices, isn't it? Price. Scarcity. Then what happen? Opportunity cost also. And spend valuable production resources, right? To produce that kind of commodities. That is how it happens. So already identify this as example. If of bread is an economic good because wheat, labor, and electricity sometime. Okay, electricity are used to produce uh, it, and it must be purchased by spending money. That's how it happened. Right. And let's go to the free goods. We call it non-economic goods. Non-economic goods. We call it non-economic goods. Right. Let's write down in here for the non-economic goods. Non-economic goods. Write down in here. Non-economic goods are non-economic goods are non-economic goods are goods that are free and abundant in supply. Abundant in supply. Abundant in supply. Comma, with no opportunity cost. With no opportunity cost. right? They are not scarce. They are not scarce. And tropically available to everyone. Tropically available to everyone without paying. Tropically available for everyone without paying. Okay, what are the characteristics related to that one? This is the opposite side of economic goods. So then it is unlimited. That is why we call it abundant. You can use it. Just consider about the uh, air we used to any kind of purposes. There's no any kind of limitations. Okay, in this planet, okay, some planet there's no suitable air for the breathing. Okay, zero opportunity cost because it provided by the nature. It provided by the nature, right? That is why if there is no any opportunity cost mechanism, no production cost, no cost, no opportunity cost. Do not carry with market prices. That means there's no prices. Okay. That means you can consume all those commodities in free manner. Yes, you can consume. What are they? Yeah, in most cases, yeah, can be non-economic goods. Okay, sometime it can be changed. Okay, sometime it can be changed. Right, sunlight in as a tropical island. I mean Sri Lanka, we got plenty of sunlight, isn't it, for the entire year. But some countries situated in Arctic Ocean and other areas, sunlight also become economic, isn't it? Yes, sometime it become okay. But we cannot recognize sunlight as an economic good because it is provided by the nature. Right, rainwater in some region, yes, it become unlimited supply. Okay, ocean water for general accesses is free. Okay, example, sunlight is a free good. People use it without paying, and it is not depleted. I mean, reducing, depleted by one person uses. That means a person use the sunlight. There's no change in the sunlight. But I just consider one person used the vehicle. What happened? It depreciate. Okay. One person used machinery. It depreciate, depleted. Okay. The value would reduce because of the usage, but there's no reduction in the sunlight. Okay. So we call it. We can discuss the difference between economic goods and non-economic. I mean, free goods. Availability. Economic goods are scarcity because of availability will be reduced. But when you're going to discuss about the free goods, it is abundant because they are provided by the nature. That is why it become abundant, right? What about the prices? Price of the economic goods contained with the prices. I mean, high level of prices must be there according to the production cost and opportunity cost. Uh, prices are there. Yes, definitely prices must be there. So then what about the prices related to the non-economic goods? There's no prices. Those are free because they're provided by the nature. Nature provides many things in free manner. That is how it happened. Okay. So what about the opportunity cost? Yeah, exist. Contained with opportunity cost related to the economic good, but there is no any kind of opportunity cost. Okay. Sunlight provide light and heat over each and everything. But there is no opportunity cost of producing light from the sunlight. Sun. Okay. So then what about the product produced by effort? Yes, there must be effort of human effort, physical effort, mental effort, each and everything included in the economic good, but there is no effort because it's provided by the nature. No human effort. Example, food, clothing, medicine, everything, sunlight, air, ocean, and other things. Okay, those are the things we have to consider about main concept related to the economic good and non-economic goods. Right? Right. In next day, we can discuss about the production, factor of productions. Okay. The main features of the factor of production and usage and different type of rewards related to that one. We can discuss all those things related to production factors. Okay. Now we are going to wind up the session and let's meet in another day with the same